up, y'all? It's Flex, and welcome back to the channel. Journalist Sarah Carter went on Fox News today to expose something that she exposed decades ago, and it has never been addressed. It's the human trafficking across the southern border of America regarding minors, young women and children, and drugs. In the early 2000s, journalist Sarah Carter went undercover and discovered an underground tunnel system being used for human, children, and drug trafficking. She is now
speaking about the issues on the U.S.-Mexican border for quite a while now. Her current post is at the Washington Times, and I'd like to show our audience your recent headlines so they can get a big picture sense of what you've been writing about. In just the past couple of weeks, her front page stories in the Washington Times have included this: terrorists teaming with drug cartels take on new identities as Hispanic report says. Here is another. U.S. knew of drug cartel terrorist ties in 2001. This is a story which quotes our first guest, Asa Hutchinson, extensively. Then also in this, Californian seeks hearing on Islamic Mexican ties. This is members of Congress who are getting interested in learning more about the question on the southern border. And recently this, U.S. agents accused of aiding Islamic scheme. The agency lacks resources to investigate. Okay, there are the headlines. Paint the picture for our viewers.
Yes, this has been a long time. I've been working on these stories actually over the past 4 years, culminating in what I produced here at the Washington Times. One of the things that interested me the most, Susan, was when I was in Mexico. And about 2.5 years ago, I was on the border in a town called, right outside of Tijuana, Colonia Laureles. It's a small little colony of very poor Mexican migrants that were planning on crossing into the U.S. Many of them used a tunnel, which I had discovered with them, that they had led me to it, that went underneath the border into the San Diego Tijuana estuary. And while I was down there, many of the men were very frank with me. They had told me they had been arrested before in the United States, they had been deported, they were on their way back. Some were from Honduras, some were from Ecuador. But what fascinated me the most was the fact that they had mentioned that a group of Chinese and another group of Arab citizens had crossed the border there with them as well in the past. Now,
were they aiding that process or just going
on? They were just a part of it because many of them hid within the Gulf area. There's like a gulch near the Gulf right there where they moved through underneath these tunnels. And I thought to myself, okay, if this is happening, and as they told me too, was that the Mexican police officers as well as Mexican military were aiding drug cartels,